Well, hello there. If you're just coming across me for the first time, my name is Kristin. I'm an American in Europe, and I'm a fine art, destination, wedding, and love story photographer. I craft graceful and soulful imagery for those with wanderlust. Now, as a photographer, it's part of my job to make sure that my couples get the best possible photos on their wedding day. And to help make that happen, I've gathered 5 top tips to make sure that you, no matter who you work with, have the best possible wedding day photos. So let's dive in. So the first tip I have for you is make sure you consider the details. Really think through about all of the elements of your wedding day and all the details that you want to include to help complete the overall story. I love it when couples incorporate heirloom pieces, antiques, borrowed pieces, something blue, all that. I think it's really special and it really personalizes the day. And I start every wedding day by photographing the details. So I ask my couples to make sure they set aside all the details they want photographed. So that includes all the heirloom, special things, but also jewelry, the rings, any hair accessory, the bow tie or tie for the guy, anything that you want photographed that you feel tells the complete story. If you look through magazines and editorials, you'll notice that details are extremely important because they really do tie everything together. So when you're planning for your big day, make sure you consider details and make sure you work with a photographer who really values that and who'll take the time to photograph them to provide photos for your gallery for years to come. Okay, the second tip I have for you is to really think about style. So think about your personal style, the style that you're aiming for on your wedding day, and then which photographer style that really matches with. So there are a lot of different photographers out there. There are some with more of a moody and dark or golden tones, and there are also some like me with a more bright and airy and light aesthetic. So think about the overall aesthetic of your wedding day that you're aiming for, and then which photographer style that might match up with. So for example, my photos are heavily influenced by light, bright, airy rooms with lots of natural light. That's my favorite place to shoot in. And of course, I can work with any environment, but it does really affect the end result of your photos. So think about that as you're considering where to get ready, the ceremony location, even the reception. If photos are really important to you, then make sure you talk with the photographer and get suggestions about where and which rooms would be best for the overall style you're going for. Okay, so my next tip for you is to think about photo locations at the venue. So sometimes venues are trapped in the middle of a city or it's difficult to access other locations to take photos. So if you have a limited timeline and you won't be able to travel to another location for the photos, consider that when you're looking for your venue. It's great if you have a venue that also has locations around it that you can take great photos. So that's another thing you can talk to your photographer about or talk to your planner if you have a planner, is discussing where the best venues are that also have fantastic photo locations. And again, this is just if photos are very important to you. You want to make sure you have the optimal locations for them. Okay, my next tip is make sure to consider the timeline of the day. So this is again something I talk to all of my couples about when they're planning for their big day. Because I don't know, it's not really a secret, but photographers love light, and they especially love what we call golden hour, which is the hour before sunset. Now this isn't always possible depending on time of year and time of day and what time the ceremony is, but if at all possible, I love getting to take my couples out for portraits at golden hour. Now I don't always get to do my exclusive portraits at golden hour. Sometimes we do some earlier in the day and then I just sneak them out and do more when the light is super golden and dreamy. But I can tell you from personal experience that the photos my wedding photographer took at that golden hour are my favorite ones, and they're the ones I framed in the house. So that's definitely something to keep in mind, is that timeline of the day really does affect your photos. So again, if photos are important to you, talk to your photographer, talk to your planner, and kind of rearrange things a little bit, maybe scoot dinner back a little bit, just so you can get those dreamy golden hour portraits. Okay, and my 5th and final tip for you to make sure you get the best possible wedding day photos is make sure you pick a photographer you really connect with. So you should pick someone who you just feel like a friend around and who you feel really comfortable around. So for me, my big why statement for my business is I want to inspire people to see their beauty and feel at home in themselves. And the feeling at home in themselves only happens when I have true connection with my couples, because I want them to feel really confident in their own skin, and I want them to look at their photos and really think, yeah, that's me, that's who I am, that's my authentic smile, that's the true joy that I was experiencing on that day. So make sure you take the time to really consider who you work with, to talk with the photographer, and even do an engagement shoot or a pre-wedding shoot before your wedding, just to see what you're like together and get to interact, so that when you actually show up on your wedding day, you really know that it's a good fit. I also take the time to have FaceTime consultations with my couples if I can't meet them in person, because that again gives me the time to really chat with them and make sure that our personalities mesh too. So it's really important because I really think that it has a huge impact on the overall result of the photos. Well, there you have it. Those are my top 5 tips to making sure you get the best possible wedding day photos. If you have any other further questions on this, please do reach out and I'd be happy to answer them. But I wish you a fantastic day, and I will talk to you soon.